What's your relationship like with Dana?
Say that who makes me laugh the most is Dana with his answers.
Brazil-wise, Poatan, what he's done, how impressed are you with him as a star?
It's very impressive, right? Like, I was in Amsterdam and I watched Poatan's last fight for glory. I actually would love to see John Jones versus Poatan. Most annoying, Carlos Esparza. He's retired now. Hey, I lost to 4 people ever, but I lost to people in the Octagon, but I beat them in life, and this is what matters.
And you were never finished, right? Never knocked out?
No, never. Thank God. I don't think that feels good.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome to Claudia Gadelha, fought in the very first UFC women's strawweight title fighter, an absolute inspiration in terms of health, wealth, and finance. Running jiu-jitsu now for the UFC. So keen to hear a little bit more about that. Claudia, how you doing? How's life?
I'm doing amazing, doing a lot. As you mentioned, that spirit of grinding and winning, it's on me, for the rest of my life. So transitioned out of the sport to something that I consider greater than what I was doing, because now I can have a real contribution to the world and help so many people, and like you said, the jiu-jitsu strategy in the UFC, I oversee and run the whole vision. And I love to be able to give fighters, jiu-jitsu competitors, an opportunity to build a career of jiu-jitsu, that it's something that I didn't have. So I'm very excited about life. Last night I was even thinking about that. Like, I'm so excited about my life and what I created with my life, that sometimes I don't even want to sleep. I just want to live life, and just doing a lot with every area of my life, and mastering high performers in every area of my life. That's what I'm doing now.
Can you talk me through what your average day looks like? Because I really enjoy following your Instagram down to what you eat, because you really share a lot with people in terms of setting an example of a good way to live, that you're killing it on all fronts. So from morning to night, what does your average day look like right now?
Yeah, so I really believe that in order to be happy and complete and feel like you are a happy human being, you have to master some areas of your life, and the first one is your health, right? Because when you are not sick, when you're healthy, you want 10,000 things, but when you're sick, you just want one thing, and it's your health, right? And I've been there. I'm from a very small town in the northeast of Brazil. I came from nothing. I know what it looks like having nothing, and I never want to go back there, because it sucks. It's very sad. I never want to go back there. I know what looks like dealing with depression, being sad, not having purpose, not having a mission in life, and that's very sad. So if you master your body first, your health, and fully understand your whole body, mind, body, and soul, you thrive physically and mentally. And that's what prepares you to go conquer a good career, great relationships, and build wealth. Because in the end of the day, you want to enjoy your life, and people are stupid to say that money it's not an important thing. It's just like saying, like, oh, water is not important. Like, water is important. Money is just as important. You can buy good water with money, so you need money in order to live a happy life. And like I said, I went through a lot of things in my life, and I didn't have most of those things, and I was able to create those things for myself. So now I understand my standard, and I still want to go a lot further. There are people that are doing way better than me, and I want to be around them, because I want to learn how to do better and be even better in my life. So my day looks like I wake up at 3:30 a.m. and I journal, because it starts with the mind, right? I want to make sure my mind is okay and my thoughts are okay, and I want to make sure I structure my day, and I set the mindset for the day right there with gratitude, with how I want my day to look like. I set the standards myself. Everything starts with us, right? So I journal, I meditate, and I go straight to the gym. Go to the gym, master my body, do amazing workout. Then I go back home, take a shower, eat a healthy breakfast, and then I come to work here in the UFC, or I stay home and grind all day, like 16 hours, 18 hours of work every day, and it's paying off very well, very, very well.
What time do you sleep?
I usually go to bed at 8 p.m. Sorry, yeah, 8 p.m. But like days like last night, I was so excited. I had an amazing day. I helped so many people. I was able to close amazing deals. We were able to sign a couple other athletes here for UFC Jiu-Jitsu exclusively, deals for my business. I'm happy. I'm so happy. So it was hard to sleep last night, but usually I sleep at 8 p.m. and I wake up at 3:30 a.m.
Wow. That's awesome. Are you at the PI a lot then?
Not really, because I work here in the headquarters on the other side. The PI, it's on the other side of the building, but I go there. I go there sometimes, but I'm mostly here in the side of where the business is happening, where people are using the mind to make sure we're driving this business forward.
What's your relationship like with Dana? There must be a lot of trust to give you this new role. And do you see him as somebody who's kind of the way that he's done and the way that he's kind of crushed it in business? Do you see him as inspiring?
Oh, he's the most inspiring people in my network. He's a mentor of mine. I get a lot of my life answers from him, coming, starting from my retirement to my next step, to rebuilding my identity. So you see a lot of fighters losing themselves, a lot of athletes overall. You kind of lose yourself because you lose your identity. You feel like you are your job, and when you put your job in a position of your identity, you lose yourself when you lose your job. And when you retired from an athletic career is so intense that it's hard for them for that whole life to leave your mind and your body, and you really have to master yourself and spend a lot of time with yourself, rebuilding that trust on yourself, and in the skills you learned in sports that you can transfer for any other area of your life. I think this was one of the most important skills I learned in the past 4 years, was that I built amazing skills in sports. And if I think that I didn't do anything because I lost my identity, I'm not going to be able to transfer all the skills I learned in my athletic career to life. And I think when you understand that they transferable, you can use them and translate to other areas of your life, like discipline, resilience, the ability to work hard. Like, they all the same in every area of your life. If you are able to take those skills to any other area of your life, you will succeed. So Dana, he was able to show me that. He was able to give me an opportunity to really sharpen the skills I already had. And I remember when I decided to retire from fighting, I told him, like, I can't do this anymore. He was like, "You just retired, you have nothing to prove. Like, look what you already did. Now go do something else with your life." And then I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. He told me, "You will do whatever you want to, whatever you set your mind to do it, you do it." And I was looking at him, kind of like trying to understand what he meant. Now I understand. Now I really understand. And he told me, like, "You are built different. That's why you're here. You built different." And there's only 3 fighters ever that retired from the athletic career in the UFC and work in the UFC. One is Forrest Griffin. Two is Rodrigo Nogueira, Big Nog. He's over there in Brazil in the athlete development department. And then 3 is me, and I'm the only woman ever that have always ever worked for the UFC. So I'm honored, grateful to be in that position, but I also know that I'm the right fit for that position because I worked for that. I worked for, um, you know, I have the vision of what this can look like. I went to law school. I I practiced this sport my entire life. I trained jiu-jitsu for 22 years. So like I know I am the right person to be in that position.
That's badass. What? Tell me about your role, because I was following Mikey Musumeci out here in Asia, and him signing with the UFC is huge. It feels like a big moment. What is the plans for grappling right now, and also how do you see it in the future, in the next year, in the next 2 years?
So the vision we have a very clear vision and we drew the path because, if you look at the sport of jiu-jitsu, right? The sport of jiu-jitsu has been around for over 100 years, right? And jiu-jitsu is it's down here. It's not a developed sport. Like the organizations is still treating athletes like amateurs. They have to perform like professionals. They have to do everything in their lives as professional athletes. But when they go out there and perform, they get a medal and a pat on the back and thank you, right? Well, I don't think this is the right way to do it, right? Because this sport is amazing, but then the ability to create wow moments that MMA has helped MMA be developed in a way faster speed. And what we're doing actually with the jiu-jitsu strategy here, we are working to help the grandma that it's at home and don't understand anything about jiu-jitsu. If she turns on her TV, we want her to understand jiu-jitsu. We want her to know exactly what's happening, what a reversal is, what a takedown is, what a guard pass is. We want her to understand all that. So we simplifying the sport of jiu-jitsu because it can be very complex. And I think people have complicated so much this sport, and there's like of course all the politics that has been around for so long that has kept the sport here. You see organizations getting bigger, you see organizations making more money, but you don't see athletes building a career in jiu-jitsu. And this was my frustration when I was 15 years old. I looked at jiu-jitsu and I loved it, but there was no way I could change my life, put food in my plate, change my family's trajectory of life, training and competing jiu-jitsu. So I looked at MMA. I was like, okay, this is way more extreme, but I guess where I am at in my life, I'll have to do something extreme to be able to change my life and put myself in a better position and be the person in my life that changes the trajectory of the family. So I went and did MMA. Well, our goal here, our mission is to end that. We don't want people that love jiu-jitsu and want to be jiu-jitsu competitors to have to fight MMA because they need to build a career and they need to change their lives. We will give jiu-jitsu competitors a platform to shine under the UFC umbrella where now they can become stars. Now they can make money. Now they can build a career. Now they can change their lives. And we're already doing, we only in edition number 9, and we're already doing, I was just talking to two athletes, Renato and Raquel Canuto, just bought a house with the money they made from the UFC Fight Pass Invitational, right? So like this is our goal. We are working very hard towards that direction, and we know how to do it. We brought the right people to help us with the rule set, with like we don't want to lose the tradition of the sport either, and this is the most challenging part. Like we want to change the game in a way where this sport turns into a spectator sport, because right now it's a practitioner sport. Like if you train jiu-jitsu, you watch jiu-jitsu. If you don't train jiu-jitsu, you don't watch jiu-jitsu. And the strategy is to flip that coin. We want this sport to be a spectator sport where people go to a arena and really watch jiu-jitsu. People turn on the TV and watch jiu-jitsu, and the most challenging part is to keep the tradition of the sport, but then make people excited about what's happening and understanding what's happening.
This is great news, of course, for jiu-jitsu fans. I think the UFC showing love to the sport it's a great time. I think the sport is growing. Is there any other new changes that you would love to see from the UFC? For example, an atomweight division or Muay Thai, a Muay Thai league under the UFC banner? Is that something you think would be cool?
Um, I mean, like the UFC is pretty unique, right? Like we see now, like the big problems. We see athletes that are champions of other organizations right now complaining that they don't have fights, that they're not putting on events, and like I think what people try to do out there, it's not very sustainable. And like some people talk shit about the UFC and the pay, but this company is sustainable. We're gonna have that amount of shows every year, right? Like Dana has the blueprint of what it takes to make martial arts successful, And I like the idea of keeping the MMA events MMA. My dream is for Dana to throw a jiu-jitsu match in the middle of MMA fights here and there to grow the sport of jiu-jitsu, but I still like to keep the MMA clean and to keep UFC as it is, that mixed martial arts event and show, and that whole experience of like full blown two people, like amazing athletes trying to kill each other. Like I still love that experience. And then jiu-jitsu has a different environment. Muay Thai has a different environment. I think those things, they'll go separate. One sport will help build the other, but I don't know what's gonna happen with striking in the UFC. I know that Dana said he's gonna start adding other combat sports to under the UFC umbrella, but I don't know when this is gonna happen, and I don't know if it's going to happen either.
Are you still in love with MMA? Can I ask you about right now? I mean, Brazil-wise, Portan, what he's done. How impressed are you with him as a star in terms of what he's added to the game coming from kickboxing?
It's very impressive, right? Like I was in Amsterdam and I watched Poatan's last fight for Glory, and I looked at it. I was like, okay, good, like great kickboxer. I don't know how he's gonna do in the UFC. It's kind of curious, And then he came into the UFC, changing the game, um, impressing everybody, really showing like we don't have anybody to compare to Alex Pereira. Like he's unique, he's rare, he's not that young. He goes out there and kills everybody in great fashion. Like honestly, I'm very, very impressed with what he's doing. He's probably the only person that did what he did. I think it is. I don't follow MMA that much anymore because I have so many things going on in my life, and I'm focused on this jiu-jitsu strategy here in the UFC and in business and in other endeavors that I'm part of. But what I'm seeing from Alex is just that the hard work he put on for years of his life and being around the right people, right? Like he came from Europe to the US and went and trained with Glover Teixeira, right? So like that idea of putting yourself in the right spots with the right people in the right time and being ready for the opportunity. He was ready for the opportunity. So I love what he's doing.
When you were training at Jackson, did you have a chance to hang out with John Jones? I saw this amazing clip. I think it was Brendan Schaub saying he was at his best in his career. He was super fresh, had a great night's sleep, and was like, okay, today I'm going to spar with John. And John just destroyed everybody. Was in the Shark Tank, probably was up all night, destroyed everyone, big name heavyweights, and was like, see you later, guys. And just was blown away by just how much better he was than everybody. It was an amazing clip.
Yeah.
But is that something you witnessed?
Yeah, yeah, I saw John Jones training so many times. He was just different, built different, different mindset. His like the way he moves, the way he's like his fighting IQ is insane. Like he sees things coming before they get to him. And I was able to see him training a lot, and I witnessed so much of his ability to just outwork everybody and just kill everybody in the gym. His the real GOAT.
They're maybe the two biggest fights we can make, right? Him versus Tom Aspinall or him versus Poatan. What do you want to see?
I actually would love to see John Jones versus Poatan. I think that would be a great fight. I know John Jones is heavier, but I also think Poatan cuts a lot of weight. Um, I don't know how he would be, fighting in the same, not he's not gonna be the same size as John Jones, but I think he can put on some weight, and he hits heavy already. He hits like a heavyweight. So I'm curious to see if this match is if this fight will really happen, and if it happens, I think it's gonna be the biggest fight in combat sports ever. It's
Do
gonna
you
be
keep an eye?
huge.
Do you keep an eye on the strawweight division? I mean, you beat Carla, one of the former champion. Zhang Wei Li, is she one of the best ever for you? How do you feel about the picture right now in strawweight?
I think Whaley is a grinder, right? That girl is just like willing to put in the work that most people are not. I see her training in the PI here, and then like her mindset and how like hungry she is still for this sport is something that keeps people at the top. It's at this sport. That's why when I started feeling like I didn't want to be in it, there anymore, I was like, no, I can't be there. Like if you really don't want to be there to be the champion, you should not be there, because the amount of work and mindset you have to perform in that level, it's insane. And she has it. She has it all. She has the mindset. She has the athletic ability. She has the skills. She has been around the right people, and she's just a monster. I love watching her. And to be very sincere, when I saw her coming for the UFC, I was like, God damn it, what does girl eat? How does she rest? How does she train? Because she's a different monster.
Can I ask you, you seem to have a fantastic relationship with social media. You use it so well. And whether it's money or sex, whatever the topic, you are very open and very confident in the way you speak. And I think a lot of people wouldn't have the same ability to speak openly about any topic. How do you have this really strong relationship with social media and use it well?
Um, I think I'm confident in my ability to live life. I trust on myself. I bet on myself. I for a long time didn't didn't have confidence, didn't trust on myself. I know what that looks like. I know what it takes to build confidence and to be in the position I'm in. So it comes down to doing the work to build the skills that get you to do the thing that you don't have the courage to do. When I look at social media, right, I'm not a consumer. I don't consume a lot of content. I'm just there. I only follow people that add value to my life. I'm not scrolling. I'm there. I post my stuff and I get out. But I feel like, and I did that for so long, right? I didn't share much of my life for so long, but I feel like it's like I'm not really contributing to this world if I don't share the things I have been through to get to where I am. Because again, I come from nothing, and to be able to get to the position I'm in, it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of personal development, a lot of mindset training, a lot of spending time with myself in solitude to understand who I truly am. And then when you master yourself on that level, you're just confident to do anything that takes to give back to the world, to contribute to the world. So when on Instagram, I'm not really thinking about like acquiring followers or, you know, making money on Instagram. I'm really thinking about adding value to other people's lives and helping people understand how well they can live life if they master themselves. That's why I'm there, and that's why I'm comfortable.
Yeah, I think that mentality resonates with people a lot. Maybe it's the approach. In the UFC, who's the funniest?
The funniest, well, I'll say that who makes me laugh the most is Dana with his answers in the press or post conferences.
It's a good
I
one.
laugh the most with him.
Who is the best grappler?
Best grappler in the UFC, Brian Ortega.
Interesting. Who is the best dressed?
Charles Oliveira.
He's very sharp. Who's the most annoying?
Most annoying, Carlos Esparza. He's retired now.
Who would you most like to have dinner with?
Who I would like to have dinner with? I'm asking me questions that I never thought of, but this is good. I would like to have dinner with John Jones.
Who has the coolest tattoos?
The coolest tattoos. Cody Garbrandt.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who has the best hand?
Alex Pereira.
Who would make the best movie star?
Best movie star. Sugar Sean.
Who would make the best business partner?
Ooh, that's a hard one. Well, I like Aljamain Sterling. I like the way he thinks, the way he invests, the way he thinks about money. So I would do business with him.
Interesting. Who would you most want by your side in a street fight?
The GOAT, John Jones, for sure.
A lot of people say that. And
Yeah.
if you could fight anybody in any weight class from the past or the present, who would it be?
I would do Claudia Gadelha versus Joanna 3.
Yeah, well, you got robbed, didn't you?
Twice. It's fine. It's okay. Hey, there's a lot of people that I lost to 4 people ever, but I lost to people in the Octagon, but I beat them in life, and this is what matters.
And you were never finished, right? Never knocked out.
No, never. Thank God. I don't think that feels good.
It seems like you have no unfinished business, although you must be pissed off with some of those decisions. Will we ever see you back? With the right amount of money or the right offer, would you come back?
No, right now would cost me money to go fight. My life is well put together. I have so many things that I'm doing, and the way I'm contributing to the world is where I'm focused at. There's no money that would put me there to fight again. I like sometimes, I think about like, hey, if there's an influencer like Jake Paul that wants to, my weight division and wants to get in there and fight for millions of dollars, maybe I would for branding and, for like a lot of money, but fighting professionally, no way.
Do you like to box? Would you do celebrity boxing then if it was a cool offer?
I love boxing. I love boxing. Yeah, I would. I would do celebrity boxing for sure.
The way the industry is going, you're probably going to get some cool offers, right?
Yeah, get me an actress that wants to, fight. I'll go. No problem.
100%. This was 100% worth waking up at 1 o'clock in the morning for. Last time I interviewed you was at the Conor Cowboy fight, I think, in like 2019. So it's been a while. I really appreciate your time. Respect. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Bye.
Awesome, Claudia. I appreciate it. Thank you.